Hello, 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 everybody. I hope you are having a wonderful Monday in September. Today is Monday, September 11th, 2017. Today is Patriots Day. It is the 16th commemoration of the tragic September 11th. And we are remembering and commemorating, the fallen from September 11th. I also want to take the time to send my prayers and love to all of my Florida and Texas loved ones and family. God bless you all. I love you all. I hope you guys get power soon. I hope you guys have access to food and water. I hope you're okay. I love being able to see you guys all check in on Facebook. It's great to know you guys are okay. And just know that Irma nor Harvey can break any of you, and my prayers and my heart are with you. Carol Powell Phillips says, love you, girl. Love you, co-pastor Carol. And I'm glad to see that you're okay. That makes me so happy. Today is Note to Self. And I'll try to keep it brief, but you guys know how I am. You already know how I am. I talk a lot. So if you don't know what Note to Self is, it is my Facebook Live audio broadcast project that I just started. I did my first one 2 weeks ago. And what I will be doing is every other week, I'm going to share pages with you guys out of my business journal. I keep notes about my entrepreneurship journal, and I keep notes in my entrepreneurship journal. It hasn't been an easy task for me. It's been really hard for me. And a lot of people have all these beautiful and gallant stories about how, like, one day they quit their job and they just became this entrepreneur, and like the shackles came off and they were free and now they're rich and they're fabulous. Well, mine is the opposite. It is a struggle, but I failed a lot, and through the failure, I've learned a lot. So I am sharing actual pages with you from my business journal, from some of the most challenging times that also were some of the times where I got the most knowledge. And I hope it helps you guys. That is my goal. I hope that someone hears this and they will not be like me, but be better than me and possibly learn something from what I've gone through. Okay. Now, this is not a one-way conversation. If you have something to say, post it in the comments. This is live, so I will answer them in the comments. Give me reactions. I love thumbs up, but I love hearts. And even if you laugh or you get angry, you can let me know how you're feeling. Just use those reactions. And don't forget to hit that share button and share it with all of your friends or anyone that you think could benefit from hearing me basically spill all my messy business mistakes with 1,000 of my closest Facebook friends. Carol Powell Phillips says, I love to hear you talk. Well, thank you for that, because I need the encouragement. I don't know if anyone is benefiting from these, but I hope so. So with all of that being said, let's get into my notes. These notes are about networking. If you see the title, it says networking in the digital world and in real life. Let's have a conversation about it. Now, there are so many old adages and aphorisms that regard networking. You hear things like your net worth reflects your network. You are the company that you keep. That's the one I've heard my whole entire life before I even knew what networking was. My mother would always tell me to be aware of who I was surrounding myself with, because they do say that you become the 5 people that you spend the most time with. They basically determine your trajectory and who you will become. So as an entrepreneur, and when you pursue entrepreneurship, it becomes more and more important, increasingly more important for you to network and to surround yourself with people who are here for you and people who will help you maintain the right trajectory in your entrepreneurial journal. So as entrepreneurship becomes more and more of a norm for our generation, we're starting to hear the buzzwords. We start to hear people talk about, you need to be a networking king or queen, or, you just need to be good at networking. And it's become sort of a buzzword. And when I say buzzword, I guess I mean that with in a negative sense, because I feel like it's lost some of its value, because we hear people talking about networking, et cetera, et cetera. It's mitigated some of the importance, and we hear about networking kings and queens, and we hear about all the networking events and all the things that are out there, but the concept of networking has become discussed so much that we don't hear it enough in a meaningful way. And if you are not networking in a meaningful and impactful way, then it's just like you're going to events and you're wasting your time. And I just don't want you to waste your time, because I wasted a lot of time. So make sure that you are networking in a meaningful and impactful way. And I'm going to talk a little bit about networking, not in the sense of how you can network, but how you can network in a meaningful and impactful way. So here are a few things that I remember seeing in my notes, and I circled them. My notes mention what not to do when networking, and here are a few of the no-nos, okay? So I did circle these three. Don't be a nuisance, don't be selfish, and don't be scared. I definitely did write it out, SCURRRRRRRD, in my notes with the exclamation point. Let's talk about the last one first. Don't be scared. Now, this is important for me because I'm very, very, very shy. And I know if you're listening to this, you probably want to hit the laughing emoji, because you've probably had conversations with me or met me in some way, shape, or form, and you probably think I'm lying. I do live videos. I have a YouTube channel. I'm always posting on social media. You probably think that I'm lying, but the internet gives me, it puts a battery in my back and an S on my chest, and it gives me a smoke screen where I can feel a little bit more comfortable. And I know I talk so much that, you know, you guys probably think I'm still lying, but people legitimately scare me. I don't know if it's so much people, but well, more so my awkwardness and the type of mayhem that people might experience because of my extreme awkwardness. So I overanalyze just about everything. And while people think I'm being standoffish or quote bougie, because that's a critique that I've gotten my whole entire life, I'm actually internally visualizing how I want the interactions that I have with people to occur. Literally, before I've gone and spoken to you in a room, I've had like a scripted interaction of like what I said to you, what you said back, and how we just hit it off and became the best of friends. My imagination runs wild. And by the time I finish visualizing, oftentimes in the real world outside of my head, my golden window of opportunity has transpired. It happens to me time and time again. And why do you think that is? It's because I'm scared. And guess what? Scared money don't make no money. That's about the only valuable thing that I feel like Meek Mill has ever said, ever. But it's a great thing to say. Scared money don't make no money. It took me a while to understand what that meant and how it applied to me. But you cannot be shy or scared if you want to evolve in entrepreneurship. You have to leave those nerves and those feelings, and you have to leave all of those things behind. So I literally had to create a networking game. When I go to physical networking events, I had to create a game to help me blow off steam and to help me get my nerves together so I didn't sit there in a corner by myself looking stupid. Okay, so I will share my little networking game with you. And I see I have some comments. Tiffany Lovell's in the building. Hey, girl. Hey, she says, I so agree. Thank you. Bashar Dunn says, I wish I could meet you to know your shy look. I'm telling you, just my word is my bond. Believe me. Tiffany says, truth. Carol Powell says, scare money don't make no money. Pastor, it is true. It is true. It is true. And one of my good friends, before Meek Mill ever came out, Bridget Aaron Carter told me, I said her whole name. Sorry, girl. Bridget told me, you can't be shy because being shy will mess your money up. And that was her saying scare money don't make no money, even before Meek Mill said that in a rap song. So let me tell you a little bit about my networking game. So basically what I do is when I go to a networking event and I see thousands or hundreds of, or even maybe 50 people, the smaller number of people, the more nervous I get. I'm more comfortable in large crowds for some strange reason. but I break the room up into 4 quadrants, and then I give myself a goal and say that in quadrant number 1, in the left backhand side of the room, you need to meet 4 people. And quadrant number 2, in the right back side of the room, you need to meet 4 people. And I give myself numbers for each of those quadrants, and I force myself to go in each of those sections that I created in my mind and to talk to the number of people that I said I was going to talk to. Not only talk with them, have meaningful conversations with them, assess, what type of business relationship or what type of, working relationship we can have. And I make sure that I get their business card, they get mine, and that is literally what I do. I'm sharing this with y'all who might be nervous like me. I know some of you guys don't have that same struggle, but if you're nervous like me, create a game. It doesn't have to be my game where I break the room up into 4 quadrants. You can come up with your own game. You know what you like and you know what you need, but that's going to be something that I say that you need to work on, is coming up with some incentivized game to help you network and step out of your shell. Okay. So after I get all my contacts, I don't just stop there. In the moment when I'm talking to them, I listen to them. I don't just think about like, oh, my name is Aisha, murphyforhire.com. I'm a PR consultant, a digital consultant. I don't just sit there and just talk and dominate the conversation like I'm doing right now. I actually listen more than I talk. And I think about how I could work with this person and what I have to offer this person that's valuable to them. But I'll get deeper into that. After the networking event is over, I have a spreadsheet at home that I actually transfer name, first name, last name, email address, telephone number, social media platforms. And I even put in notes. What did we talk about? What's the name of their company? And I'll put in, possible collaborations or working relationship. I have 8 or 9 different columns that I actually enter information into. And then that's when I get home from the event. Within 72 hours of meeting them, I send an email, especially the people that I really had a great connection with in person. I send an email to these people and I say, hey, it's Aisha. We met at the My Hair, My Health event, and we talked about bringing this event to San Bernardino. I just wanted to make sure that I touch bases with you and that we stay in contact. Make sure you follow me on all of these social media platforms so we can connect with each other and we can stay in touch. And from there, I build a relationship. I make sure they remember me. I make sure that if I see something that they like, I comment on it. I stay in touch with these people either via social media, email, or set up a meeting to have coffee or connect with each other once again. So that's what I say when I mean meaningful. You can go to an event and get 1,000 business cards, but if all you do is talk about yourself, and if all you do is just collect business cards and then lose them all or keep them in the bottom of your purse, you didn't network and connect in a real way. So this looks a little bit different in digital, because if you're not in a networking space and you don't have a business card, you just see someone you like online, then it's different. You have to build more of a relationship. You have to tweet with them more often. You have to share things with them that's meaningful. But it centers around the concept of AAV, which people always talk about ABC, you always be closing, and sales mantras. Mine is AAV, always add value. Let's say it again. Always add value. Let me pause that to take a question. Carol Powell Phillips says, how do you find local network socials? I find them on social media. I go to Eventbrite and I peruse through those. I sign up to professional networks. For example, they have the Black PR association, the Black Publicists Association. I sign up to them and I get emails about things that they might have locally in my area. Public Relations Society of America, I'm a member. They send me a lot of emails about workshops and networking events in my area. Most of them I have to pay to go to, but I'll pick a few out of the year that I'm going to pay to go to, and I'll go to those. Another great way of finding them is some of these contacts that you meet at the events, keeping in touch with them. You'll see stuff that they're going to. It's been so many times where I met someone at a natural hair event and then they reach out to me and say, hey, are you going to Nappy Woods? It's going to be in September. Maybe you want to go together. And I'm like, cool, like, let's go, and it's a great way to even still maintain that contact. Those are some of the ways that I find local networks and socials. And of course, it will vary from industry to industry. You're in the spiritual, faith-based sector. So, I would say the biggest way that I find great events is through some of my actual networks my contacts that I've met at networking events. So, but that's a great one. I can do like another live video on how to find great networking events in your area, but it does vary from industry to industry. Now, we were talking about networking in a digital space, and I don't want to spend too much time on that because you have to be a lot more strategic. It's something about being in front of a person and meeting them that just kind of makes them a little bit more open to you when you follow up with them on the internet. That's why I always suggest, like, yes, you can still do it on digital. You can definitely do it on digital, but it takes a lot more contacts, a lot more keeping in touch, a lot more getting to know a person. Just don't assume that because you know somebody online that you know them in real life. And if you are reaching out with them and attempting to like network with them, you cannot be aggressive and pushy and asking for way too much. Like I said, AAV. Always add value. From the initial conversations to when you slide in the DMs, always add value. That's number 2 of the don'ts, of the no-nos. Don't be selfish. So I know that we are designed as human beings to think of the WIFM. What's in it for me? It's human nature. It's in our DNA. But to network effectively, you have to think about what you can do to help someone. What do you know that may be of interest or of help to the person that you want to connect with? The example that I would give is one time I went to an event for Blavity. They opened an LA office, and in the Blavity event discussion board, there was a young lady who was like, I'm here by myself. Does anybody want to link up? I was there with a friend, but I said, hey, why not? The more the merrier. I commented on the post and I told her what I look like. I'm like, I have a leather hat on. I've got my face beat. I'm 5'8". Like I gave her a full description and I was like, and I'm holding my phone up in the air right now. And then she found me. We hit it off. Crazy thing is she's from Fort Lauderdale. I used to live in Fort Lauderdale. So we just hit it off, and come to find out she even knew somebody that I went to church with. So it was like, it was more than a coincidence. It was like meant to be. Well, she is beautiful. She's a model who moved from Fort Lauderdale to pursue her career in LA. And she was walking in LA Fashion Week, but she needed to find some work in between. Well, I had just gone to an event at Google where I met a lot of videographers and photographers. And one of the photographers that I met had just posted an open call for TFP. And in the modeling world, that's time for print, excuse me. So basically the photographer isn't charging to photograph. If they like the model, they will work with that model and they'll basically trade, the shooting session for photos. Like they just want to work on a new technique or they want to work with a different model. And so I told her about the open call and also a few other things like runway shows and stuff I saw, and forwarded her the information so that she can connect on that. And we've stayed in touch, and seen each other since we met 2 years ago, because every time there's something for plus size models, she sends me the email. Every time I see something for runway models, I send her an email. And that is how you effectively network. You add value. You don't just come to the person like, hey, let's work together. Oh, hey, buy this from me. You take time to build a rapport and to be genuine and authentic with that person, and you get to know them. I'm pausing for questions right now. So Carol says, how do you know which area of business you fit? I think I need more detail, like, of the answer you're looking for. Do you want to know what area of business you want to go into, or do you want to know what area you're in? Because you're in the religious, faith-based sector from the outside looking in, but you might have a business project that you want to work on. So I probably would need more information about that. And we can always, you know how to find me, co-pastor. So, you can always text me, DM me, or whatever, email me. You know how to find me. So I'm always open to your questions, for sure, for sure. So adding value, back to my notes, adding value, you don't want to be selfish, okay? Do not be selfish. Find meaningful ways, like the case study with me and my model friend, C'est Quoi. Make sure that you have meaningful interactions and that you always add value, because we definitely live in this internet age where people like to just send emails to strangers on the internet asking them for stuff. And this is where you get to that very first one, the very first no, where I say, don't be a nuisance. Don't be annoying. That is so annoying. Like, if someone just came up to you like, give me $1,000, and you've never seen them before, you have to really understand that just because you watch someone's tweets, you see 365 of their tweets, 52 of their tweets, you followed them for 52 weeks, you do not know them. You know a faction of that person. There's like 80% or maybe even less of that person that you know. You only know what you see online from them. So you need to remember that you don't know them, and you don't need to just ask them like, hey, can you read my book or my screenplay? Hey, are you giving away free photo shoots? No, like, take the time to get to know that person. And if you're sliding into those DMs, you better make sure that you are offering them something to make their life easier. Because if you're going to be that aggressive and that arrogant to think that you can just ask strangers for something, you better make sure it's a good offer that shows them the wisdom of why they should even open your DM or even respond to it. It needs to be an offer that they can't refuse. So I've had it happen to me, and I'm not even that large of an influencer. So many people say, hey, buy my product, and then write a review on it. Well, you know what? I get sponsorships and brand deals, and I'm always working on getting more. These people either give me a percentage of the profits when people click on my affiliate link. When I do a review of their product and promote their product, I get anywhere from 3 to 15% of what they sell. Okay. So don't slide in my direct messages if you're not talking about a good affiliate deal. You know, in some cases, if it's a really great product and I really loved it, it's different. But, you know, I've never seen you before. I don't know who you are. Let's get to know each other first, you know, like, let's have some coffee and shake hands. Even though it's digital, let's do the digital equivalent of that. I also get people who say like, oh, can you work on this project for free, or you'll get great exposure? And it's like, I am a freelancer. So if I don't work, I don't eat. And if all the work that I do is for free, I'm going to starve, you know, and by starve, I mean Sally Mae won't get her money. And we all know we keep Sally Mae, our student loan processor, very happy around here. We do not make Sally Mae mad ever. So you really have to realize that you need to be adding value. It's not being aggressive and just asking for things. That is not how you network. You should not be holding your hands out. You should be connecting and building a relationship by being an addition and not a subtraction, and asking for things for complete strangers. There's an article that I read by Paul Carrick Brunswick, and he worked with Oprah and Diddy and all of these billionaires and multimillionaires, and he has a very great career because he was like an assistant for them, and he learned a lot from them. And he wrote an article on the crazy requests that he gets just because he knows these people. And he talked about how it's not okay, and how that's, if you guys think that's what networking is, you shouldn't be doing it. And I actually did write that article in my notes. Ponder replay. I will put that article in the comments, and you guys can take a look at it and read his perspective on it as a person who has been very successful, made millions of dollars just based off of the associations in the network. Well, I won't say just based off that. He's a hard worker. They wouldn't have kept him around if he wasn't a hard worker. But it's super annoying if you're doing those types of things. Like if you become friends with someone and you just see, like, for example, for me, if you see that she has a master's in PR, she might be a publicist, let me be her friend. Now I'm going to tag her and 100 other people and say, download my mixtape. That is annoying. Don't be a nuisance. Some people I have great relationships with, I don't mind if they tag me, even though it is annoying getting all the notifications on the tags. I don't mind if they tag me because I know that this person, I can trust them. I know that this person wouldn't tag me to just anything. And I have enough faith in their relationship that we have, in the relationship that we have together, that I don't mind allowing anything that they tag me in to be seen on my timeline. So if you're doing those things, if you're not adding value, stop doing that. You're a nuisance. Don't be a nuisance. Okay. So there you go. Let's take a recap. Don't be a nuisance. Don't be selfish, and don't be scared, y'all. That is definitely something that I'm still working on. But what you should be is be yourself, be strategic, be of value, be in touch with your contacts, and be all of these things in a very organic, sincere, and unforced way. Be consistent to that and do this consistently, and watch your network strengthen. Just watch it strengthen. Like, I have to consistently remind myself to do these things because I'm not naturally like this, but I put myself in situations where I have to learn these things so that it will become second nature to me. So if you guys don't have it, don't be discouraged. Just keep working on being better. And the change will come. It might take 1 year. It just depends on how hard you work at it. So it could take a year or it could take the rest of your life. But if you focus on being yourself, being strategic, being of value to your contacts, being in touch with your contacts, being organic and sincere, and being consistent at being all of those things, you will see your network grow. So I'm checking for questions in the comments right now to see if any of my listeners that are in here have anything to say or anything to add to this conversation. Like I said, I'm dominating the talking, but if y'all have something to say, it's not a lecture. You guys can jump in and give your advice. Even ponder replay. I will come back in these comments and read everything that people say. If this was helpful to you in any kind of way, you guys know, give me them likes. Give me some hearts, give me your reactions, and share it with a friend on your timeline or with someone that you feel would need it. Next on Note to Self is actually going to be September 25th, because I'm doing it every other Monday. And I've been working on creating, if you watched Live With Me last week, I talked about Live With Me is my live video segment where I basically just talk about pop culture and anything that I want to talk about. I talked about my reading list for the fourth quarter of 2017 and what it's going to be like in 2018. And I was kind of, during that live session, putting together both my fictional and my self-help and professional development reading list. I've been fine-tuning that since the live video, and I am going to do an entrepreneurial reading club. It's going to be digital. We're going to use Band, which is an app that allows us to communicate with each other and share documents and stuff. So if you have any suggestions for books that you would think I should read, and these need to be like entrepreneurial, financial books, this is going to be geared towards people who are just starting their journey, people who are beginners like me. And we are going to read 12 books in 12 months, and we are going to support each other and self-development and professional development. Okay. And basically it will turn out being 12 books that will revolutionize your entrepreneurial life. So get ready, get ready, get ready. If you need a public relations consultant, then email me at aismurphy84@gmail.com. If you have questions, or maybe if you have a topic that you want to discuss, like, you want me to talk about it on the next Note to Self, then send me an email, aismurphy84@gmail.com. This was brought to you by Murphy4, the number 4, Murphy4Hire.com, because I am a publicist and a digital media consultant. So I am out here to help you if you need me. And that's all I've got. I hope you guys have a great couple of weeks. Everybody across the world, be safe and be blessed, but especially my people in Houston and my Florida family. Florida is my second home. I lived there for 13 years. Though I am back in my native state of California, my heart is beating and bleeding for my Floridian brothers and sisters. I'm praying for you all. And that's all I have for this Monday. But remember, if you still have questions after all of this, we live in the information age, okay? Enlightenment is literally a Google search away, guys, okay? Be blessed and be peaceful, and I'll see you next time.